Alright, first off, guys, I gotta say, start off with, oh, Jesus, that sun glare is terrible. That's not what I gotta start off with. Okay. Wow, that's inconvenient. My bad. My bad saying because, or saying my bad because I thought I've already made this video. Every time one of these questions come up, I'm like, dude, I've already talked about this. But then I'm like, go and check, and I'm like, yeah, damn, I didn't really talk about this yet. So I gotta talk about it. That is fuel injector sizes and fuel pump sizes. I guess I'll throw fuel pumps in there, although we're only going to talk about two. So now, if you watch my NA videos, you know that when I talk about the NA setups or NA builds, I'm like, this is assuming that you've already got full bolt-ons. So full bolt-ons is an assumption I'm making when you're trying to maximize your NA gains here. Why? Because there's certain things you do when you're modifying that are just a given. You do these things, you shouldn't have to ask, like, oh, you got bolt-ons? No, it's obvious. You know that that's a step that needs to be done when you're doing NA. If you're trying to maximize your goals, your gains without fucking turbo, without nitrous, supercharged, etc., then you need the bolt-ons. It's like, bolt-ons are, if you're trying to make like around the 500 or less, and you're doing that with boost or force injection of some type, bolt-ons are kind of an option. Like, you don't really have to worry about changing everything to be bigger, because you're going to be making the power off of whatever you're slapping on force injection wise. But when you're in A, you don't have that extra push, so you need to loosen up and free things up, free up airflow and everything. So you need the bolt-ons. You need them. All right. So now, when I'm talking about modifying a car, the very first thing you need to think about, that should be a non-issue, is fuel upgrades. What does it take to make power? It takes fuel and air, right? So you need more fuel flow. You need more air. All right, definitely need the more fuel flow. All right, so correct me if I'm wrong here, but I'm fairly confident that all OEM fucking injectors are 220s. I'm pretty sure. I mean, maybe not in the K series era, but I know I'm pretty confident for a fact that that all the 90s engines, all the DBH and all that shit, they're 220s. They're all the stock injectors are 220cc. So 220cc isn't really gonna get you very far. All right, so if you're staying NA and you're looking to make in the 200s, you need to be looking at like 440s or 450s at a minimum. You need to double your injector size. All right. If you're going into the 300s, you can get away with 550s. Start going into the 400s, you need like 750s. If you're searching after 500 plus, you're starting to get into the thousands range. All right. So there's no set number you should get. Like, oh, this is the shit I'm gonna get, so I have to go with this. Plus, you gotta remember that E85 flows differently. So for if you're gonna run E85 or race fuel, you need even a bigger injector. So if you need 750cc injectors or 800s or whatnot to get to 500 with pump gas, and you're gonna go for 500 plus on E85, you're probably gonna need 1,000 plus for that extra flow rate. All right. Now, so I just gave off a list of what horsepower range for what size injectors. But me personally, I like to always start off with a minimum of 750s because, like I've talked about before, you don't want to run out of injector when you're tuning. That's a fucking huge problem. It's definitely something you don't want to stop. You don't want to end a $350 dyno session because you ran out of injector and need to pay for another one. Because unless the tuner's your homeboy or unless you're tuning yourself, that guy's not going to be like, oh, well, you can just swap out the injectors, come back, and I'm not going to charge you for the next tune. No, it's a different session. You're going to have to pay for it separately unless you're managing to buy these injectors on the spot and doing it on the dyno. And even then, it's probably going to factor into your total overall price unless he's going to let you swap them out for you, for yourself. All right. So injectors you want to get the right size for the right power levels you're going for. And personally, I think the bigger the better. So if you go, I mean, especially nowadays when there's so many different injector options out there where a lot of them are close in price, why would you pay the same money or next to the same money for 550s that you could pay for 750s? So I always go bigger. So that way, you guarantee you have enough. And then as far as a staple for fuel pumps now, from 500 horsepower and below, 255 pretty much covers all of that. All right, and then I think it's the 455 that you need if you're starting to look at that 500 horsepower range and above. And I guess while we're talking about fuel mods too, maybe you want to change up that fuel filter on that Honda, because the chances are that it's never been changed. Also, another thing to consider is when you're going over 500 plus, is that once you get, I think, like $700 horsepower range and above, you're looking at changing out your fuel lines as well. Your stock fuel lines to aftermarket fuel lines are also for better flow. So yeah, I think that should cover injector sizes for horsepower range and fuel pump for horsepower ranges. If you're going to be anything under 500, you need at least a 255. If you're going to mod it all, if you're doing more than just your basic bolt-on mods, if you're doing more than just bolt-ons, fuel pump and injectors. But honestly, if you're going to be doing any modifications at all, I think you should be doing fuel pump and injectors regardless. That way, if you're going to tune to maximize your bolt-on gain, you're definitely going to have enough fuel and you're not going to have a fuel issue. Alright, so that's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and peace.